It's after midnight, and it's time for conversations about love, family, friends, sex, and life. It's Love and Life with Carol Riddick and Donavan West, only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hello, good people.
Ooh,
What's
look at
going
both
on?
of us. Both of us all excited to jump
You know
in.
why, right? Because we're so excited. Extremely excited. This is what we do in this excited space on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's right, WURDradio.com. I am one half of this dynamic duo here on Love and Life. I'm Donavan West, and I'm here alongside my partner in crime,
Carol Riddick. Hey there, family. Hey.
Now, you know what we do every time we get on air. We try to keep it, real as is. No frills. We keep it a buck with you. We don't pull any punches. And that's the way we like it here in this space. Not to say that others aren't providing it, but we do it best.
Oh,
That's true.
okay.
That's right. I said it.
Well,
I said it.
listen, you did.
You got my
You
back?
did. I always. Now, you know.
Okay. I'm just
You
making
know
sure.
not to even ask. I mean, I've demonstrated that.
That's right. When we out in these streets, people like, wait, I heard you. That's right. We want all the smoke when it comes to keeping it real. Because some of y'all, you know what? I'm not going to get into it right now. That's why I need another session. Speaking of another session, when I say session, I'm talking about my accountability session, my mental health session. And I'm so happy, that we have someone that's going to help me, just kind of digest some of the stuff that we be going through sometimes. I see you shaking your head already.
You know I am. You know I am, family. You hear us. So you know what I deal with. You know, but I love you, Donovan.
What do you mean by that? What are you getting at? What are you talking about?
What am I talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking
know
about?
what I'm talking about. The reason that you just stated that you need help. You know, you already know.
So you don't need help either?
Oh, I know I need help.
No,
we weren't talking about me, though.
Okay.
We were talking about you.
We're talking about us. We as a people need help. Yes, yours truly. I'm going to be first to say that, yes, I, Donavan West, I need help sometimes. Not all the time. Really? I just heard something just now.
No.
Really? In that small little millisecond, I heard something from you just now. It was so fast.
No.
I'm watching you, Carol. Carol, at commercial. Yes, at commercial. Watch. Anyway, we're going to move forward. Speaking of, mental health, speaking of having an accountability partner, speaking of just talking about the idea of talking, we have a subject matter expert with us, someone that we would like to introduce to our WURD family. And, without further ado, let's bring in Marcella. Now, I'll ask her to tell us more about why she's such a great fit for the family, but right now, let's just give her a welcome.
We're working on the sound effects, Marcella.
Yeah,
we're working.
We got to submit that budget. Yeah, that revised budget. Yeah, I'm talking to you. That's right. I'm talking to you. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel very welcome.
Good. You should. We are happy to have you here. As you heard, we are so delighted to have you in our space, in the room.
Yeah.
In our company, because we feel
I'm
so
happy to be here.
We feel so. What's the word, Donovan? We feel so.
I would say relieved.
Yeah.
Relieved, because sometimes you can talk to someone and their vibe is so much that it doesn't really provide relief because of a certain kind of energy that they bring into the space, right? And that energy doesn't necessarily give you this opportunity to kind of woo-saw or even a sense that things are going to be okay, right? They just are, the gas on the fire already. They just want to take it up another notch, and with their knowledge, just kind of get you even more.
Yeah.
I'm talking about on 10. Right? With anxiety, with everything else. And Marcella, your vibe already is just like, yeah, that's right. She is the quiet storm for your brain.
The quiet storm for your brain.
She's a quiet storm for your brain. You'd be like, yo, and I got to do this. She'd be like, shh. That's Marcella. She's like, chill.
I love that though. I do love
Thank
it. So
you.
Marcella, this is what
Yeah.
we typically do. We like for our guests to be comfortable, but we like for our family members to know first and foremost from where do you come? Tell us a little about you.
I am from West Philadelphia, born and raised. Did not spend most of my days on the playground, but I'm from West Philly. I grew up here in Philadelphia. And I am currently, I hold a couple positions. So I'm a psychotherapist. I
Okay.
do individual therapy for children and adults. I also am a DNA counselor, which is drug and alcohol. Like that's my like main gig.
Mm.
So I work at a methadone clinic in Philadelphia. Super, super big. I know everybody knows it on everybody
Oh
knows
yeah.
that corner,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I
Mm-hmm.
work there, and I also do psych tech at Penn. So I'm like a little bit everywhere. Author, mother of one, and I also have my own program right now, a mental health program for youth 8 to 13 years old that went on during the summer. I got a grant from the city. So that's a little bit about me.
Wow.
OMG.
Yeah.
I know it's a
Yeah.
You
lot.
know, it's so interesting because I only knew some of
Mhm.
what comprises all of what you do. But when do you sleep?
I sleep.
You,
I sleep. I get all my sleep too,
you,
which is funny because
Wow. Okay.
that's like my favorite pastime. Like I get all my sleep. Now the rest of the day I'm
Mm-mm.
busy, but sleep time is
You heard that,
sleep
Carol.
I,
You be mid sentence and then you just hear click. Wait, what? Yeah,
time.
and
like,
then
Going
also
like
when I was 7 and hello,
like,
like she's
it's
going to
that
get it.
time.
It's that time.
It's that
yes.
time.
It actually sounds crazy when I say it out loud, like all this stuff that I do. Like, wow, I might got some
Yeah.
mental issues. Like, I need to tap into that. Why am I so ambitious? But I am. It's like my day. I get all 24 hours out of my day.
I
Just the
love
day.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
And I applaud you know, we always love to spotlight, you know,
Yeah.
people of color who listen, who are doing big things, and you are doing big things. We love to spotlight everybody and everyone. So let me be clear on that. But especially and particularly, you know, people of color and women who are you know,
Absolutely.
because you know,
Yeah.
most women don't get that spotlight. We
Black
don't
women.
know. Yeah, black women don't. We
Black
don't.
women
We really
in
don't.
particular.
So I would like to know, like, this journey. When did it just, you know, come to you that this was the field in which you wanted to work?
So actually, it came from my own trauma.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As a youth, I was like a very troubled youth. Like if my mom knew what mental health was, I would have had services, but I didn't because it was so stigmatized when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And just like not a lot of black families were talking about mental health. So I was like one of those troubled youth, just like really crying out for help. And I didn't get it until my young adult years. So once I became a young adult, I actually sought therapy for myself. And it was like within that therapy session. And it's funny because it was a older white woman that I had from Penn. And I went in like, you don't know my life. Like, you can't help me.
Mhm.
But she said something that really unlocked that mindset and like set me free. She was like, I might not understand your life or look like you, but I understand pain, and that's universal. So
Mm.
that kind of like
That's
just
good.
dropped my barriers, and I just like dumped on her. And it was just like we just unpacked it from there. And I was so free after that. Like she gave me lingo to like live this new life and just freedom that I just was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. Like I want to be a therapist and I want to help kids like me. So that's where it started, way back in my 20s. And then I went to school and here I am.
Wow, wow, wow. Interesting. Now,
Wow.
if you care to share just a little bit, when you say troubled youth, can you give us some examples of troubled youth that experienced during that stage in your life?
So I had a very early on sexual abuse trauma when I was like
Mm.
in my very primary years.
Okay.
But I've never like expressed that to my family. in
Okay.
those times. So I was like dealing with it, struggling, but my trauma turned into anger, and that's how I expressed it.
Mm.
So I was like angry,
Mm-hmm.
just doing anything mean that I could do to my mom to get her attention. But to them, it's just like, you're just this bad kid, you're just angry. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't really understand it. I couldn't really understand it, like why, what was going on, or how to like express what was going on with me other than anger, because that protected me. That protected me from the predator, that protected me from everybody else. Like, that was my shield. Like, if I'm mean,
Mm.
you
Mm-hmm.
can't get to me.
Mm.
Right.
So that's when I say trouble. Like, I was just like one of those really discarded, mean kids where it's like, you know what? She just evil, and like, let her be.
Wow.
Wow,
Wow.
that's crazy. And now, here's a thing that's very interesting about that, especially you talk about, you know, your experience behavior wise, and being in the, being that school is just now starting, right? You have a lot of youth right now that are going to demonstrate certain behaviors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their parent or parents are going to be sitting there scratching their head, wondering, this summer you were just fine, right?
Mhm.
Here it is, you're going into school and all this is happening. What are some things that you may, come across in terms of either the behavior itself or conditions or things of that nature that you think parents may need to pay special attention to say, you know what, this is more indicative of something deeper that we need to get to the bottom of. Not that they're going to, overnight be able to diagnose, but what are
Right.
some things on the surface?
Right. We don't want parents diagnosing our kids, right? But
Mm-hmm.
some things to look out for is just like changes in behavior. Like, if you know your kid is like often quiet or alone, and they're all of a sudden like acting up, or, just changes in different, are they not sleeping well through the
Mm.
night? Like, are they having trouble connecting socially? Like, just observing their behavior. And everything is not something. So that's what I want to say. Like, we can over diagnose or over analyze.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is not something. Sometimes kids are just, kids. Just ask. They will tell you. Ask. And that was the key thing. Like, nobody asked me, what's wrong with you? They just assumed or put something on me. Like, this is what you're doing. Or like, just ask. Kids will talk to you.
Mm.
I like that.
That's so interesting that you say that. And, and I'm saying this because of my recent experience. Donovan, I sometimes work with children, and Marcella, we met when I was
Yeah.
closing the end of the last school year, and I was talking about some of the experiences I'd had.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said, I mean, just spoke volumes. I did have that experience. If you just ask, they will tell you.
They will
And
Mm-hmm.
tell you.
I was trying. I was working with children, a lot of which had behavioral issues, mental issues. A combination of the two. And here I was trying to identify the individual triggers because I had
Mm-hmm.
so many babies with which with whom I was working.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting when you say just ask, because they will tell you, and they did. They were telling me when I got to the point where I realized that
Mm-hmm.
if I just talk to them and ask, so what is going
Right.
on? What is happening? They will tell you.
They will. And oftentimes we're trying to fix the problem and we don't even know what the problem is. Like,
Right.
with like,
Right.
maybe it's
Right.
this or this. And I always tell my kids, my clients, like, nobody can tell you what you're feeling. Often
Mhm.
adults like to assign feelings to kids, or she just being angry, or she's mad. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
can tell you what you're feeling but you. You're the only one that knows that. And that goes for adults as well. Like, even with your partners, you're assuming, oh, she just got an attitude because of whatever. But that could not be the case. Like, we present our emotions so many different ways. Like, we have to begin communicating them, and this is what
Mhm.
I teach my youth, that communicate your feelings, talk about
Mm-hmm.
it, because people will assign them to you, and that'll be not what is going on, and it'll be years from now, and they've been treating the wrong thing or thinking the wrong
Mhm.
way about you. And it's just like, it's a simple conversation. Just ask. That's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best advice I can give parents, is like, just ask the kids what's going on. Sit down and have a conversation with them.
I
They will tell
agree.
you.
So you
Yeah.
you work. Oh, go ahead.
No. After you.
And
This
we're
is
both
so
so
great.
excited to ask you
Yeah.
questions. We're both so excited to talk with you. Well, I mean, your line of work is so interesting, though. I mean, you work with children. You're working with adults. Well,
Yeah.
in two different areas as it
Hmm.
pertains to the clinic.
Yes.
Working with, and I'm assuming this with adults, mostly adults. Is it at the clinic?
Yes. At the clinic, adults, young adults, not too many children.
Okay. Okay.
You're talking about the methadone clinic, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so drug and
Yes.
alcohol. It's mainly adults or young adults in their 20s. Uh,
Mm,
it's really disheartening to see how many of our the population is struggling with drugs, especially the younger population. You would
Hmm.
think like the drugs that we know about that are ruining lives like crack, because everybody knows what crack does, but you'd be surprised how often young the younger generation in their
Hmm.
20s are using this drug. Like, it is really sad. So
wow.
yeah, it's surprising to see. Like, you wouldn't know unless you know you're in it, but it's a huge percentage of Philadelphia that is struggling right now with addiction.
Do you feel like that number has been growing um, over the past few?
Absolutely, especially with like the opioid pandemic
Mm,
epidemic. I'm sorry, it's growing, and I'm in it, so I see it every day. Like, it's just like the number of like intakes we do. Like, the city is struggling not only with violence, but with drugs, and just like I'm in different fields, so I see like all the different like disciplines where we just need
Hmm.
help, like child
hmm
welfare and drug and alcohol, mental health. Like, I feel like I'm in crisis mode all the time. So it's like if I have
mm,
a regular day, it's like woo. But
wow.
a regular day, I don't even know what that is.
I was just about to ask
I think
Like,
what
that
would
is
but
a
that
if
be
regular
for
I
day.
you?
ever
Right.
experience it again, it's gonna be like, ooh, ooh. I don't know if I'm never not in like crisis mode, like let's fix this.
Now it
But
sounds like resource wise, right, that you're pretty overwhelmed. Is that accurate to hear that?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm,
Yeah.
And do you think that, due to these COVID compromised times, that it's increased exponentially? Do you think there's been a slight uptick? Do you think it's always been the case and now we're just more sensitive to it? What's your thought?
I feel like since the pandemic
Hmm.
that it's more highlighted. Like, it's always been there, these problems, these issues, but people are less able to manage. Even people with like the most coping skills are like, okay, I've used all my coping skills. Now
hmm
what?
Hmm.
So like I think, and that's the reason that I wrote the book, because during the pandemic, it was just like everybody was at wit's end,
hmm
even clinicians. Like, we were essential employees, right? So we're working through the pandemic, but not only do we have to deal with our clients and their issues, it's like we're people too. So we're also going through the pandemic. We have our own families, we have our own load of things to carry. So everybody was like, it seemed like at their wits end, and that's like one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because some of the kids that I was counseling through telehealth, it was like really hard to do with the
hmm
younger kids on like over a computer screen, keep them engaged.
I'm
And it's like
sure.
you need the help of the family, right? But the family is just like not talking about it. It's like, here, this is what you do at 3 o'clock. Go ahead and log on, and then they're like gone. But it's like therapy happens outside of that hour. I always tell my
hmm
clients, like, you're here with me for an hour a week. Therapy happens outside of that. You have to take what I teach you. You have to work with your support system. Like, it takes a lot to heal. It's not just in this 1 hour a
Yeah.
week. And I
Right.
tell parents that, but they just weren't like talking about, nobody was talking about what was going on. And I'm like, this has to be a regular conversation. It can't all be on a therapist to fix the world, right? So,
hmm
like, we
hmm
have to start talking about it in our homes. Like, it's everybody's issue. So that's why I wrote the book.
Oh, yeah, we can't wait to talk about. Yes.
And it's a question.
Yeah.
It's like, what is mental health? Right. Let's start the conversation.
I like that. I like that a lot. And you know what? When we come back from this much needed break, because we gotta digest what you just said. So, you know, if you think for 1 second that you got enough information to make a move, WURD family, you are sadly mistaken. All right. We have more information, more resources for you. We're going to get into that book, Mental Health. What's that? We're going to get into that and just learn more about how we all can, you know, digest these times and navigate. We'll be right back after these messages.
I remember this one moment. I ran to kind of the water edge, and my mom said something along the lines of like, now it's your turn. Take that first step. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. There's some light within her that makes me continue to do the climate science work that I do. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. As moms, we care about our children and the environment they grow up in. And for Mia, I want you to know that I worked really hard to be a part of the change and to make it a better place for you.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, that's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
We're often influenced by what we see or hear on social media. Beware of disinformation campaigns targeting Black communities by using cultural issues to incite divisions, spread false information, and negatively influence public opinions. We're in this together, and together we can stay informed and empowered. Learn more at nbcit.org. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things can never ever be the same. Don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM. and 900 AM WURD, independent Black media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. On air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. I have
There's some furniture movement, sorry, in the building.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, Carol, are you hungry?
I was like rolling furniture across the floor.
What?
Somebody needs a Snickers? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
so in any event, we are here. we are in the midst of it all, as you can hear, family. Okay, but we're so glad that you're here with us because we're riding along on this journey. If you have just joined us prior to our break, we were talking with our today's guest, Marcella K. Norman, who was explaining to us about the book that she has written that is called Mental Health. What's that? I tell you, I love this book. It reads, Let's Explore an Introduction to Mental Health for Children. Family, I want to read something to you really quickly, if it's all right with you.
Yes, please do.
On the back of the book, it reads, Our emotions are valid. Whatever emotion you feel, it is valid. By understanding our emotions and being able to identify them, we can better understand the connections between our mind, body, and the world around us. This book is needed by many adults that I know.
Absolutely.
Word.
Absolutely. It's made for families, actually. It's a conversation piece. So children and adults can benefit from this book. A lot of my readers say that this is good for adults, or this is good for me. So yes, that is the key. I want the whole family to talk about mental health.
Yes. I wish
small enough for the youngest kid to pop, like let's all talk about it.
Seriously, because as I was saying, I love this book. I read it. I'm going to put it back up here because I want you to see it. There I am. There we are. Okay. I want you to see it. There you have it, because I want you to have it too. I want you because I really do appreciate. I don't know if you recall when we met and you told me, I said, what is the book? What's the name of it? And I purchased it right there. And then right in that moment, I bought two.
Look at you with your shiny apple. I'm like, I gotta get my book.
You gotta get your book.
I gotta get my book. I am a little Joe. I'm like, hold up, you pulling up the book? Like, I'm like, hey, I'm about to go downstairs, go to my front door. Like, wait,
where's my book?
They always be snatching from my front door. They always be snatching. Like, I knew it.
You know they did. They took it. They took it. Yep. I know they took it. But no, sorry. I appreciate it so much because, like you were saying, and I'm in full agreement. This book is for the entire family. It's really, really for the entire family. And I was saying, I wish, like when I was little, my mother, we used to have Thursday nights used to be reading night.
Oh wow!
It was our night to read whatever our choice. That was what we did together. We would read, but the interesting thing is that we didn't read things together. Like she would read her book, I would read mine. But
okay.
No, and I'm not in any way discounting or diminishing the experience because it is one of my favorite memories. That was our thing. Friday night was pizza night. We went to the pizza shop. Thursday night was reading night. So we had different things that we did, but I'm saying that to say that in today's day and age, if there are any family members, because I'm not even saying that it just has to be a parent, if there are any family members that are interested in having this type of relationship with a younger one, this book would be the greatest introduction to doing so.
Thank you.
I like that. I like the idea of just reading a book together, period, instead of being in the same space. And there's a lot of reading happening, but they're of like captions, right? They're scrolling and reading, right? That's not reading. We're talking about like an old school, right? Call it old school Thursdays or whatever, where you actually read a book together. And as you mentioned, I don't have it yet, but I am looking forward to it. What you shared so far about it, about the journey, I can say this much. The attempt to unify the culture of learning, right, is an age old mission, right? So even from a school standpoint, right, the school has a certain culture, right, and then you have to fuse that with what the culture is at home, and that's always been the challenge. It's always been the challenge, right? The same here is that you're there with them for 1 power hour. But the rest of it now, in terms of, retaining the information, applying the information, right, getting to a level of mastery where it's really been absorbed, that's going to take a whole lot more than the hour that you have. You have just an hour just to check in. And so I agree with you 1,001%.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes more than that power hour, like that term. It takes so much more. It takes support. It takes the family, whoever you have that supports you, or the child to get involved. Oftentimes, it's not even the children that need to be in therapy. It's like
we know,
right? They need to be reparented. But so that's like often.
Hold on, did you say reparented?
They need to be
yes, you did.
Reparented. Okay, I just wanted to. You wasn't going to get through that just like that. Like, I was like, wait, hold up. Like
some reparenting needs to go on, because it's often not even the children. It's like, okay, you want to join?
I want to go back to something you said earlier in our conversation. You were talking about diagnosing, like parents not diagnosing their children, and we were all in agreement with that. At what point would you say the parent should feel comfortable reaching out for assistance? Like, at what point so we don't self-diagnose?
Okay, so yes, we don't want to self-diagnose. I'm laughing because 90% of the clients come in like, well, Google said, we don't want to do the Google MD.
Stop Google MD. Stop.
It's like you will find what you're looking for. Whatever you're looking for, Google's gonna say you got it. So
they be giving them ibuprofen and ginger ale. Like, I think that helps settle them down. Like, no, stop.
Whatever. Yeah.
Really.
Google, the information is good to have access to it, but not good for like self-diagnosing. Leave that to the professionals. So for parents, I would say any disturbing behavior, like we all know what is not right when something's off, or when our child is just not who they are. If it's concerning, like if it's in multiple locations. So like at school, they're getting into trouble. At home, they're getting into trouble, or in the community, you see that they're tearing stuff up or whatever, or maybe not even that, or maybe, just in multiple different environments that they're not thriving, or they're not being themselves. Like, that's concerning. That should be a flag. Or if they're not sleeping or having trouble communicating with you, outbursts, these type of things, like anger outbursts. What's going on? Have a conversation first. Like we talked about before, just asking them. Often the problem will reveal itself then, but if not, just staying aware of these cues, like what is out of the norm.
So as an educator, what advice would you give with regard to navigating a relationship with a problem child, especially when you don't have, you're not in touch with the family?
So are you speaking in like regular classrooms? So like regular education, or are we talking like behavioral education? Like what?
Like the regular class, So I'll say, okay, hypothetically speaking, I have a student who has behavior issues. He likes to lash out and throw tantrums.
So what advice? That would be like communicating with that kid, Like, again, just asking, seeing what resources do you have in school? Maybe it's a counselor, or having a sit down with the family. Like, hey, do you notice this at home? This is what's been happening at school. Like, do you notice this at home? Or is it anything, that could be stressing this child at this time? Like, did you have a death in the family or whatever? You want to be careful not to accuse a family of something. Like, hey, what's going on at home? Like, you don't want to be like that, because they'll shut down immediately. But just trying to figure out, whatever external information you can get, and just making the parent aware that this is what's happening here. Are you also seeing that? Maybe you both are seeing the same thing. Okay, what can we do to help your child? And it's like reaching out to those resources. Maybe the most available is the school counselor, which a lot of schools don't have counselors, which is
yeah, that's true.
But it's insane, right? Like, that should be vital. Nurse, counselor, like, two things you must have in a school. But
agreed. Now, I'm always interested in your take on it. When you do receive that message from the child, and it is family, and they're really clear, they're explicit, like, this is what it is, this is what I'm going through. What's your take on how to then navigate from that point?
So as a therapist, or someone who works with children, I'm a mandated reporter. So that means the first step is, identifying if there's any abuse, any type of abuse, neglect. What is the child telling me? If that's the case, then I'm mandated to make a report to the city. I don't necessarily have to notify the family. I can just make my report. And then the city will take over, but I'm mandated by law to report whatever it is that child told me to the city to take care of. Secondly, if it's like something, maybe they're not communicating good with their family at home, or the adults in their life aren't getting them, like, that's often the case as well. I always do this exercise where it's like, adults in my life get it, don't get it, and then the kid can just draw whatever they have on their mind. What do the adults in your life not get or get? So we can start there. So that's pretty much like the route I take, whether it's like serious or non-serious.
Okay.
I still need that intervention.
So I know you touched on this a moment ago, but what would you say more of our children, the mental health challenges? Let me get this question together. What would you say our children are presenting with more now as it pertains to mental health challenges?
So now, since the pandemic, it's a lot of like loneliness. So our children are disconnected socially from their friends, from the environments where they felt comfortable in, which was normal to them. In-person school, that's where they got to communicate with their friends and build those social connections. So that's a lot. It's a lot of that lacking. And these kids, so think about most households in Philadelphia. I don't want to say most, but a lot of children only had that connection at school. Some of these kids are parentified. They go home, they have to, step into adult shoes, or they just don't have that attention or that outlet at home. Like, nobody's checking on them. Nobody's like, hey, you want to play this game or whatever. This school is where their safety net was. That was their place of safety. And now we've removed that. So it's like these kids are home with their abusers. They're home, alone, parentified. They're, because family still I gotta go to work. You ain't in school, but I still gotta go to work, so it's that dynamic. It was very devastating, because school serves a lot of different purposes, not only education, but safety. It's like somewhere where these kids eat every day. Like, they'll get a meal, like all these different aspects of this building that they go to every day is a protective factor for most kids. So that is lacking, I would say, since the pandemic and this at-home school and all of that.
You know, just hearing you talk about this, Donovan, we talked about this a few months ago. I was saying when I was in school, and one of my students, well, no, three students had anxiety because it was their first time coming back to the classroom, and they had to sit in the hallway, just it was intermittent that they would come in and out of the classroom, just trying to become reacclimated with being in that atmosphere. And it hurt me so badly because they're babies. And I did not realize how much of a weight it was that they were carrying. I want to talk about this more if we can when we come back from our next break. Family, if you are just joining us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. We are joined by none other than Marcella K. Norman, who has a list of titles that we're going to repeat when we come back from the break. But stay with us so that you are well versed at all of her titles and all of her responsibilities. Okay? You stay with us because we'll be right back.
I'll never forget the day I nearly died. I was a young journalist with a great career, starting a family. The only way we found out I had any kind of heart issue was when I went into sudden death. My coworkers sprung into action. They've recently been trained in life-saving CPR protocols developed by the American Heart Association. They're the ones that kept me alive until the medics came. They did many tests on me in the hospital after my cardiac arrest and created a treatment plan, all with research from the American Heart Association. I think unless you are a heart disease patient, you may not know how much work the American Heart Association does behind the scenes to save your life. Since my cardiac arrest, I've had 2 more children. I've watched all 3 of my children grow into adulthood. I'm going to cry now. Graduate from college. My daughter got married. I have grandchildren. And I'm still here.
Learn more about the American Heart Association's work at helpheart.org.
Imagine you on a deserted island all by yourself, or even being in a crowd of people yet still feeling alone. That's what being a victim of sexual assault can feel like. Victims of sexual assault are at an increased risk for developing depression, PTSD, substance abuse, eating disorders, and anxiety. Sexual assault can happen to anyone and is any unwanted sexual contact such as unwanted touching, fondling, groping, or even rape. No always means no, so speak up and speak out. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Everyone loves a champion, someone whose performance puts them head and shoulders above the rest. But not all champions wear a medal or hoist a trophy. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. We believe abuse can be prevented by taking a hard look at how we coach, how we train, and how we interact after the last whistle. We have provided over 2 million safe sport training. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job. It's our promise.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. Every day he's hungry for something. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then it kind of starts to work itself out.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hopkins, aka The Food Griot, the host of Savory and Sweet, a new show about food, history, and culture. Savory and Sweet is a flavorful exploration of food marinated in the Black experience, seared with history and braised in culture. Each week, I'll fold in conversations that center food and drink at the intersection of business, health and well-being, entertainment, education, and innovation, while separating the facts from fiction on the sometimes surprising origins of what we eat and drink. So join me, the Food Griot, and special guests for Savory and Sweet, Food, History, and Culture every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Independent Black Media.
Welcome back, good people. You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at WURDradio.com. We were just talking with Marcella K. Norman about, mental health and the different ways, the different perspectives to consider when you're looking at your young one. And I think, you know what, Carol, I think it's time for a PSA. We got to do it. Is it okay if I do a PSA real quick?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's do this PSA, okay? Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, before you consider your child or your children the devil's spawn and reach out to your priest for an exorcism, or if you just think that your child or children are just a couple of badasses, I suggest you do this. Consider mental health first. Consider another alternative. PSA is over. There it is. I had to drop that.
Chloe's in agreement.
You heard it.
She's in agreement.
You heard
it. So, Marcella, I want to know, what is the one thing that you would like for our family members to know about mental health, about navigating life with mental health? Like, what is the one thing that you would like to share with us?
The one thing I would love to share is that we all have mental health. You would be surprised how many people, since I've started this journey, the book journey, have said to me, oh, I don't have mental health, or, oh, my kid doesn't have that, but I know somebody who does. And I just crack up to myself, because it's like, I wonder how many people out here think that, like, we all have mental health. So you may not have a mental disorder or a mental illness, but we all have mental health. Otherwise, you wouldn't be reacting, feeling, interacting, any of this all day long, which is what you do all day long, right? So mental health is our emotional and social well-being. And if I could just really quickly tell you how to, if you thought of mental health as a pyramid, right? And cut it into 4 sections. The bottom of the pyramid would be just no problems. That's your base. You're good. You have good self-care, good support system. Everything's all well and dandy. Second tier is distressing problems, right? So maybe your car, you got a flat tire, or you were late for work. You broke up with your girlfriend. These are problems that happen every day. We can pretty much manage them on our own, but this is a part of our mental health. The next tier will be mental problems. This is something where you need external intervention, or you might need to reach out to someone. Maybe you had a death in the family, or you were diagnosed with like a chronic illness and you don't know how to handle that. So stuff that's outside of our control that happens that we may need some external help. And then the top of the pyramid would be like mental disorders. And that's where you have your depression, schizophrenia, anxiety. These are things that need treatment and absolutely need a professional, right? So if you think about the whole pyramid overall, that is all mental health, but it's levels to it, right? So we all have mental health. And that's what I want people to know. Like maybe you're at base and you're fine. That's great, but you still have mental health. And that might not always be the case, right? We all may be at risk one day for our mental health not to be so base. Maybe you might be up a tier. So
yeah, good point.
Well, two things before we go. Can you share with us, number one, where everyone can purchase the book, and number two, your socials?
Yes. So the book, Mental Health, What's That? I'm kind of crooked. Can be purchased at store.bookbaby.com. That's my publishing site, who published my book. Also Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, all those online. And then my social is at Mental Health Let's Explore, and that's on IG and Facebook. You can find me there. But the book is pretty much anywhere books are sold online. And just type it in. It's on Amazon. You get free shipping if you got Prime.
Okay.
At store.bookbaby.com.
Perfect.
Yeah, Amazon to cut a check, you know?
Yeah. How about that? I love Amazon.
we all do.
No, we see them vans up and down the street. Everybody's blocked out of, you know.
I'm a avid Amazoner, but
oh gosh. Quick question for you.
Yes.
So what do you do in terms of, self-care when it comes to mental health? Besides the sleep, we heard the sleep part.
Besides the sleep, I get all my sleep. We know that. But I go to therapy as well. Therapists have therapists, right? So I go to therapy for me. I also travel a lot. I love to travel. Like if I'm not doing 1 million things, I'm on an island somewhere. So that's like my thing. But I think therapy is such a therapeutic tool for everyone. Everybody might not like therapy. It might not work for everybody, but for me, I know it does. Mm-hmm. And I know the value of therapy. So that's pretty much what keeps me from bubbling over out of my cup with all this intensity that I deal with every day.
It does sound intense, oh my goodness. But I love that you say that everybody has mental health. I mean, everybody, family. So you hear that? You hear that? You hear that? So Donovan, no more Google MD or YouTube University.
No
more of either of the two. Okay.
No more putting posters on people's backs.
At the beginning, I need help. Like, let's all just stop the stigma. We need help. It's okay to say it.
There it is.
Stop the stigma. We need help. We need help.
We need help.
We need help.
See how you said it? Oh my God, Carol said it. She said we. Oh my God. The breakthrough today, people. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here.
Carol will be the first to admit that she needs help. I'll be the first in line, okay, for therapy. So family. First of all, Marcella, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your energy, your attention, your knowledge with us. Donovan and I will be making our appointments. No, we thank you. We do. We thank you tremendously. Really, we do. We thank all of our family members. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What did you say?
I just said thank you for having me.
Oh no, we hope you'll come back.
That's right.
Really, we really do.
Yeah, we need you. Carol needs you a lot. I mean, we both we do, but Carol a little bit more. Yeah.
Carol a little bit more. Oh, what? This is what I'm gonna do to you. In any event, Marcella, a huge and tremendous thank you from all of us at WURD, from our entire WURD family. Donovan and I want to thank our entire WURD family. We appreciate you for hanging out with us on our socials, for checking us out, listening to us on the station. All of that. We appreciate all the love you give. And to those of our family members that we just saw at our Founders Day event, we are still holding on to all of that love that we felt that day and that we received that day. Family, have a great night. Have a great morning. Have a great rest of your day. And remember that we're all in this together. So be good to you, but be good to those around you. Make sure you join us at midnight, Sunday through Thursday, for another edition of Love and Life on WURD. Right.
That's it from us. Until next time, peace.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hopkins, aka The Food Griot, the host of Savory and Sweet, a new show about food, history, and culture. Savory and Sweet is a flavorful exploration of food, marinated in the Black experience, seared with history and braised culture. Each week, I'll fold in conversations that center food and drink at the intersection of business, health and well-being, entertainment, education, and innovation, while separating the facts from fiction on the sometimes surprising origins of what we eat and drink. So join me, the Food Griot, and special guests for Savory and Sweet, Food, History, and Culture every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
A lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Julia, are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elma's going to play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
I remember this one moment. I ran to kind of the water edge, and my mom said something along the lines of like, now it's your turn. Take that first step. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. There's some light within her that makes me continue to do the climate science work that I do. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. As moms, we care about our children and the environment they grow up in. And for Mia, I want you to know that I worked really hard to be a part of the change and to make it a better place for you.
Yeah, Sam, Elmo.
Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's going to play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.